Yes, guys. So let us discuss what is oxidation and what is reduction. So as you are aware that oxidation is a simple term. Oxidation is gain of an oxygen. So in a chemical reaction, if oxygen is gained, you call it as an oxidation. And what is reduction? Simply, you will call reduction as loss of oxygen. But students, do you know that oxidation and reduction can also be spoken in terms of hydrogen and in terms of electrons also? So let's see what will happen in oxidation to hydrogen and what will happen to oxidation to reduction, right? Oxidation and reduction. Let's see, guys. So as we are aware that gain of oxygen is oxidation and loss of oxygen is reduction, and loss of hydrogen is also called as oxidation, and loss of electron is also called as oxidation, and gain of hydrogen and gain of electrons is also called as reduction. So not only gain of oxygen is called oxidation, but loss of hydrogen and loss of electron are called as oxidation. And not only loss of oxygen is called as reduction, but gain of hydrogen and gain of electron is also called as reduction. So to remember this thing, we have small analogy, guys. So that is LEO. Leo stands for lion. So what does lion do, guys? It will roar, right? So let's take roaring of lion as GER, G, right? So LEO stands for loss of electrons. So remember, loss of electrons is oxidation. So always when there is a loss of electron, we call it as an oxidation. And GER, roaring of lion, stands for reduction. So G stands for gain of, E stands for electrons. So gain of electrons is also called as reduction. Is also called as reduction. So in a chemical reaction, if oxygen is lost, it's called as if electron is lost, it's called as oxidation. If hydrogen is lost, it's also called as oxidation. Let's see these things with a simple example. Let's take an example of oxygen. So if I take copper and if I burn it in the presence of air, that is oxygen, I'm going to get copper oxide. So guys, you can see here what's happening to the copper. Copper is gaining an oxygen. So gaining of an oxygen is nothing but oxidation. Oxidation, right? So let's see one more example, right? So let's take the zinc oxide and carbon. So what happening when zinc oxide and carbon are reacting with each other? I'm getting I'm getting zinc plus carbon monoxide. So guys, what's happening here? Just have a look. Just have a look. Zinc is losing an oxygen. So minus O2. So this is reduction. And whereas carbon is gaining an oxygen. So this is oxidation. So guys, remember in a single reaction, if both oxidation and reduction are taking place, these reactions are called as redox reactions. Redox reactions. So let's see an example let's see an example of oxidation and reduction in terms of gaining and losing of electron also. So let's check the formation of sodium chloride. So you can see NaCl. So how NaCl is formed? It's an ionic bond. Sodium will lose an electron to become Na plus, right? So what's happening here? One electron is lost. So losing of electron, what is losing of electron? Oxidation. So sodium is oxidized, right? Then chlorine is gaining that one electron and it's becoming Cl minus. So what's happening to the chlorine in this reaction? Chlorine is being reduced, right? So we have seen in terms of oxygen and we have seen in terms of electrons also. Let's see in terms of hydrogen what will happen and how the reaction will appear, right guys? So let's take an example of, let's take an example of manganese oxide, right? So let's take MnO2. MnO2, when it reacts with 4HCl, what's happening? 4HCl. Let's see the reaction. What's going to happen here? You're getting MnCl2. So Mn is losing an oxygen, so it is reduction. And what is oxidation here? You're getting Cl2. So let's see HCl, and when it's coming to the product side, it is losing hydrogen. So what is loss of hydrogen? Just we have seen, guys, remember, loss of hydrogen and loss of electron is oxidation. So HCl is being oxidized and converted to chlorine, and MnO2, it is losing an oxygen. See, it's becoming manganese chloride. So here loss of oxygen is happening. So this is called as reduction. And guys, as we discussed, there are both reactions in this reaction, oxidation and reduction. So these reactions are also called as redox reactions. So remember students, not only gaining of oxygen is oxidation and losing of oxygen is reduction, but losing of electrons and losing of hydrogen is also oxidation. And not only losing of oxygen is reduction, but gaining of hydrogen and gaining of electron is also called as reduction. So that's it guys. In next class we'll discuss about next basic concepts in chemistry. Thank you for being with us.